violated. The state of Israel will not accept any violations of the ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, and the IDF will respond with force to any violation that endangers the security of our soldiers and its citizens. Now, following the series of attacks in response to Hamas violating the ceasefire and attacking our soldiers, around 9 p.m. Sunday Israel time, the IDF began the renewed enforcement of the ceasefire. We will not only continue to uphold the ceasefire agreement, but we will enforce it. Let it be known and understood. We are still demanding for the bodies of our deceased hostages to be returned by the terror organization Hamas. We know Hamas can return them, and we know that Hamas is aware of where they are located. There are 16 deceased hostages that are required to be released under this first phase of this plan. As Hamas continues to make the excuse they cannot locate them, let's make something very clear. Hamas dragged our hostages into Gaza and either murdered them on October 7th or during captivity, with the sole exception of a soldier taken in 2014. No one misplaces people they kidnapped. Any suggestion that Hamas doesn't know where the hostages are is not just an excuse, it's part of their propaganda. Journalists repeating that line should ask themselves whether they're reporting facts or echoing the narrative of a brutal terrorist organization. I can also confirm at this time, Prime Minister Netanyahu met earlier today with Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, on the developments and updates in the region. Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife, Second Lady Usha Vance, will also be visiting Israel for a few days and will be meeting with the Prime Minister. I'll take a few questions right now. Just going through some of these questions. The first one from Joel Pollack from Breitbart News. There is a claim that Hamas did not fire an RPG at the IDF, but rather that soldiers in a bulldozer drove over unexploded ordnance. First off, Joel, I think you're better than that, not to believe these ridiculous lies that Hamas is perpetuating in the media. Let's just talk about the facts that I have right here that I have just told you in this briefing. On Sunday, terrorists carried out an attack of multiple shootings, including an RPG and armed fire in multiple positions, killing 2 of our IDF soldiers. The second thing you should know, Hamas continues to hold our hostages. 16 deceased hostages are still in Gaza right now, held by Hamas, the terror organization. As they agreed to in the first phase of this deal is to release all of our hostages, all 48. There are 16 hostages left in captivity. The third, dozens of incidents of terrorists have crossed the yellow line that have happened so far, the yellow line where our IDF soldiers are redeployed to. And 4, they continue to execute its own civilians. Let's not forget what's happened in the last week here, executions of civilians on the streets in Gaza. And your second question, Joel, Jared Kushner says that Israel must invest in a better life for Palestinians. Israel has said this, and it is completely laid out in the 20-point plan. In order for the Palestinians to have a future inside of Gaza, there can no longer be Hamas. That is strictly outlined there. Hamas will have no part inside of the Gaza Strip. They will be demilitarized. They will be disarmed. Matthew Duran from ABC News Australia. How does the Israeli government respond to accusations from Palestinian health officials in Gaza that the bodies of Palestinians recently handed over by Israeli authorities show signs of torture and mistreatment and have been returned in advanced states of decomposition and without any identification material? I don't have any information to share on that, but I will go back to you and continue to say, if you have any contact with Palestinian health officials, that is Hamas. Let's make that very clear. And you should ask Hamas where the bodies of our 16 hostages are. We are waiting for them to be returned. Lior Soroka from the Washington Post. Have Witkoff and Kushner arrived in Israel? Will they meet with the Prime Minister? And what is on the agenda for that? So Witkoff, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner did have a meeting with the Prime Minister today. And that's the information I can provide you on that. And they discussed developments and updates in the region as well. So those are the 3 questions that I currently have. Would love to answer more, but those are all we have at this current point in time. Thank you so much for everyone who joined us today.